they're notorious for transmission issues. But Nissan Versas, they're really good. It's really weird. They just like messed up with that model. But I'll never buy one of those again.
Wow.
And another one, Chrysler Town and Countries. The things are junk. They look nice.
Is it the van?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they suck. Every single one of them I've had engine issues. These are like lower miles. I mean, not super low, but like 70,000 miles.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
Nah.
Yeah. There's some funny foreshadowing with the Nissan Sentra. I brought that up like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's the most popular car of the conversation.
Yeah.
And then Dodge Journeys are hit or miss for me. I don't know yet.
I've never really heard good things about Dodge cars.
Yeah.
I've always loved the Challengers and the Chargers, but like Durangos, things like that, has always seemed like it's, I don't know, like the Dodge Nitro, same thing.
Yeah, we had it in a Dodge Avenger. That was pretty good. People liked that.
That's like isn't it? It's kind of like a Charger, but it's like a dialed back version.
Yeah. It's not the coolest looking car, I don't think, but it ran well. People
I love
liked
Challengers, man. I've wanted a Challenger for years, but
Yeah.
I'm always like, I live in Pittsburgh. I drive in the snow, and I mean, my Jeep is a tank, so I'm like, no problems. But I know a guy that had a Challenger that had to put sandbags in his trunk in the wintertime. And I'm like, that's not what I want to have to do.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Plus, also, you're kind of saving up for a motorcycle, so.
Can you rent motorcycles on Turo?
No, you can't. But I think there is an app where you can.
There is another app and a site because I got my license recently and I wanted to go test drive one here. And so somebody had the exact bike that I was looking at, but I was a little nervous to rent a motorcycle, but I also didn't have the gear for it. So the guy's like, "Oh, I have a helmet and a jacket." That's not what you look for when you ride motorcycles. Is a used helmet. It's very specific to the person, and so it was like a lot more to it. So I was like, I think I'm good until I like own gear. But they do have that. I was actually wondering if they had it on Turo though for motorcycles. I figured they didn't. I've never seen it.
In
but
Europe, I bet they do.
They might.
I can
More
see
common
it.
to get a motorcycle in Europe, I would think.
Yeah, you get like mopeds
Maybe
and
not a
motorcycles
Harley.
and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, you won't get cruisers very frequently, but they do have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in Barcelona, I thought they drove pretty nuts over there.
Oh, it's
Everybody just like going in and out of traffic. It was pretty
Yeah.
insane. I was on a bicycle and I almost got hit like 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I
we were
mean,
also probably drinking and being on the bicycle. So that's right.
wired on
Not
espresso
that
and
smart.
wine.
Yeah.
No, Portugal is the same way. I mean, in this, like the city center of Porto, it's all brick roads and it's tight. And like, I mean, people are driving Fiats everywhere because that's all you can really drive. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, I haven't seen a Jeep Wrangler yet. I was there for a month. And then I walked outside the city where it becomes more of like a normal looking city. And then I saw one. And it was like actually lifted big tires. And I was like, you're not driving that anywhere within the middle of the city. Like it's just not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, they definitely drive pretty wild. But I mean, if I was driving like a Miata all the time, like I'd be whipping the shit out of that too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun, right?
It would be fun. Yeah.
Do you have like a go-to car that's like a good one to buy? Since we talked about the worst, is there one that's like, this has been like the best consistently at least?
Yeah, so there's I'll give you like 5 ones that I'd recommend for anybody starting out. And honestly, in almost like any market, these are going to perform well. Hyundai Sonatas, Hyundai Elantras, Kia Souls. Surprisingly, people love Kia Souls.
They're fun to drive.
Yeah, now, I actually don't mind them when I drive them around. Kia Fortes. Then I'd say that's like a toss-up between a couple, but Nissan Rogues.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The Rogues have been really good too. But on the cheaper end of them though, Hyundai Elantra, that would be probably my number one pick for something that you could get for like under 10 grand,
Okay.
maybe even under 8.
So, and I know this is like kind of the same question you just asked, but I mean, are people like, I mean, say you spend, like $8 grand on a Hyundai Elantra, like are people profiting like right away, or is there like a couple months where like, you're covering the startup costs or things like that?
So let's say if you bought a Hyundai Elantra for $8,000 out the door, people are making positive cash flow the first month. I mean, you have to recoup your investment, but remember, you can always sell. Since we're buying used cars that are already heavily depreciated, the car's not really dropping in much value. We're already getting them at the peak of that depreciation curve. So really, you put the car on there, and if you have the settings optimized right, which a lot of people, they mess up, they don't know how to make a listing look attractive, and I wouldn't say it's overly complicated, but it's also simple to me because I've been doing it for 4 years.
Sure.
But you put it on there, you're going to make $800 to $1,200 a month. Your insurance is only, if you get the right carrier, should only be around $100 a month. Your tracker, that's about $15 a month. So we're talking $115. You're going to want to get a car wash subscription. That's another $15 to $20. let's say 130. And other expenses, I mean, if you're doing it yourself and cleaning and stuff, there's really, I mean, you vac it out and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you could bring in from like 800 to 1200 with 130 in expenses if you buy the car cash.
It's not bad, especially right away.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it's nice because if you're starting a business and you learn about the write-offs and the tax incentives later, I'm sure there's a lot with owning a vehicle that you can expense.